Yeah,
I'm vibing.
Hey everybody, welcome back to season 2 of Newbie Star Trek. The new intro you're listening to is from our good friend Nathan Tang. He wrote a new theme song for us. The theme song is called Earl Grey. Hot.
Oh, it sounds like 311 covering doing Star Trek. You know, it's like spacey, but we like to get high on the beach. You know what I mean?
I dig the bossa beat.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you don't hear the full version on the pod because obviously we're mixing this and it's a podcast. But if you want to hear the full version, there's a bonus episode that released last week,
Which is essentially just an MP3 download.
Yes, of
both,
the
song.
Of both our new theme song and the new what happened back on this air date song. It's not really a section. I don't know what the section is called. Dan's section.
We'll need to workshop something because I didn't have anything in mind.
It's the history section.
You sprung this on me.
In the year 3000.
Wait, was it?
It's 2000.
2000.
Yeah.
694.
In the year
Or so.
20. In star date 4207 3.1.
Wait, it is the 24th century, if I recall. So
Yes,
it's 23 something.
Yeah. Well, this week we looked at the first episode of season 2, The Child, and boy,
we should
There
say
sure is
before
a
we get
child
started.
in it.
Before we start, we should say, if you're a new listener, hey, welcome to season 2.
yes.
You've joined us at the beginning of season 2.
At the beginning of the good Star Trek.
Well, I don't know. This is my first time running through it, so
Yes.
if you're a returning listener, hey, thanks for listening. If you have left a review, thank you very much for taking the time. If you left a good review, thank you very much. 2 thank yous. If you left a bad review, just 1 thank you because you took the time out of your day, even if it was a shitty review. It wasn't. I'm not reviewing your review. I'm just saying if you left a shitty review, it's okay. I'm always okay with that.
Yeah.
You could always learn from. I always say you could always learn from bad movies as much as good ones. So look, we're learning from bad reviews, good reviews. They're all good. You're taking the time to go write a review.
Yeah, you took the time, and it entertains us either way.
Mm-hmm.
We feel good either way.
We fill our hearts with rage or with happiness, and both are good.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's the benefit of being attention seeking.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Sometimes bad reviews turn you on. I've said it once and I'll say it again. When I know somebody in life hates me, like if I know every time I know a coworker hates me, it kind of turns me on. Like, man, I piss these people off so much that they verbally told somebody else that they don't like me.
Yeah. I've affected someone's life.
Yeah.
Remind me to never get on your bad side.
Well, if you want to leave a review, you could find us on Apple Podcasts and Podcast Addict and say whatever you want.
Yeah. And look, we've learned a lot from the first season. We've learned what we like, what we don't like. Look, there's one thing that's never going to fucking change. So get that in your head now. And it's this. Okay. Nate was trying his damnedest to work that secretly into the song for Dan's history back in the day portion.
And he failed.
He tried so hard. He tried so hard.
Yeah. You have to finish the job yourself. Now, I'm sorry.
Yeah. We had a long discussion about that where he was like, "Do you think we can do it? I don't know." But anyway, we saw The Child, and if the last episode was the season finale, and it wasn't great for a season finale, and boy, this is not great for a season premiere.
Oh, I liked it, dude.
There's a lot of things
wrong with it. There's a lot of things wrong with it, but I found some interesting things in this.
See,
maybe
good.
High.
I'm glad we're not gonna do a dump fest on it Because
No.
I'm a bit negative
do think
on
there's
it.
merit to it.
I see. Okay, good. Because I didn't want to just be like, let's all dump on it. So if you guys have positive things to say, fantastic.
We're just gonna tell you to shut up every time you start speaking.
Yeah.
No, shut up. It was fine.
Yeah.
Shut up. Shut up, you nitpicking
Actually,
bitch.
you're right though. There is a lot to hate about this episode, and I do hate the hateable parts with a passion. It's just that there is some season premiere-y stuff that happens in here that's worth taking note of.
Yeah, I guess they tried their best in putting that stuff in while trying to fit in the A plot. Like the season premiere elements are the B plot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Basically.
The A plot is like, get out of the way, A plot. Where are these new characters? Let's talk to them.
Yeah, and I guess essentially some of it is, I mean, we'll get into it more later, I guess, but a lot of it is just problem solving for cast shakeups.
Yeah, which so there was a lot of politics behind the scenes, especially in the first 2 or 3 seasons of Star Trek that directly affect who you're not seeing on screen. But anyway, Dan, this episode aired on November 21st of 1988. Could you please tell us what happened around that time?
That doesn't really work in this particular instance because it's been kind of a while since
that's true.
Season
so please
1
catch
concluded.
us up.
And if I recall, we were in the middle of May when season 1 concluded.
Mm-hmm.
So June, July, August, all the months happen in between. So just real rapid fire. I'm going to try to read through all these little things that were notable to me. Movies in June. Tom Hanks is Big. Poltergeist 3. Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Coming to America. In July, you got Die Hard, which didn't release around Christmas, even though it's a Christmas movie. A Fish Called Wanda. And 3 different sequels that had different directors from the originals. Big Top Pee-wee, it wasn't as good. Caddyshack 2, wasn't as good. Short Circuit 2, mixed reviews. In July, July also saw a Famicom release of Capcom's Bionic Commando.
Oh, infamous.
There you go.
Yes.
In August, you got Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master, and Mac and Me.
Oh,
Hell yeah. On the game side of August, you got Sega's Altered Beast, which hit arcades around that time. And also in the news, a ceasefire between Iran and Iraq took effect after 8 years of war. Also, Al Qaeda was formed, with Osama bin Laden being part of that meeting. Hey. Oh, also in August 1st, Rush Limbaugh started his radio show for the very first time. Rip and piss, Rush. September, the 24th Summer Olympic Games was held in Seoul, Korea, or South Korea. In October, Mystic Pizza, Moonwalker movies. Also in October, Nintendo flipped Doki Doki Panic into Super Mario Bros. 2 for North America, and Japan wouldn't see it until 1992 when it would be called Super Mario Bros. USA, because things are really weird here. And interestingly enough, in that same month in Japan, in October, Japan got Super Mario Bros. 3.
Oh,
so we got Super Mario Brothers 2 and Japan got Super Mario Brothers 3 in the same month.
So we got I wouldn't call I love Super Mario Brothers 2. It's one of my favorite games of all time. So I wouldn't call it a downgrade, but I would say it doesn't feel like a successor to Super Mario Brothers.
Oh yeah, definitely not. It's just weird to me that we were a whole damn sequel behind at some point in the Mario timeline.
It's like how some movies in some countries, they don't see them till a year later, They can get.
Oh, yeah. And this used to be very, very typical at the time. It's just wow, things have changed.
Oh, yeah.
Global now we have simultaneous releases are a norm now, and that's so crazy.
Fucking Netflix releases in all countries in 170 languages or something all at once and shit. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's insane. That's insane.
Well, Tenet was released and we got it last.
That's true, but that's actually kind of not that unusual. That's happened a lot, where a Nolan movie or even a Dark Knight would be it'll show up in Britain first or something, then it'll show up here for whatever reason.
Yeah. All right, moving on. In October, also, the U.S. Senate passed a bill restricting ads during kids' TV shows. Presumably, to make sure they weren't being advertised things that weren't toys.
Smoke.
Mikhail Gorbachev rose to the head of the Soviet Union in October as well. In November, we got movies. Child's Play on November 9th. And on November 18th, You got 2 animated movies in The Land Before Time and Disney's Oliver and Company.
Oh, I love Oliver and Company, actually.
Yeah, it's a pretty great movie, honestly.
I think it's really underrated for what it is. Oh, well. You hate Wall-E, so
it's true. All right, final tidbit. Throughout all of this history that I've been rattling off, Mike Tyson has been slowly unraveling. And he's been cited destroying property, destroying cameras, getting in camera people's faces.
I like the narrative is like, in the meantime, Mike Tyson has been...
No, seriously, that's how it reads when you start going through like notable headlines and stuff. And this this just stuck out to me. In late October, he got sent a $2 million bill from none other than noted crackpot Donald Trump for 4 months of quote advisory services. Advisory services.
What did he do to him?
He advised him. He advised him for $2 million worth of advice.
Wow.
And it was worth every penny.
I mean, also, that given what we know now, I mean, was it advice or was it, some shit?
Well,
was it just rantings of a lunatic?
No, Rush got started in August.
Yeah. By the way, happy 2 months of being sober, Rush. You piece of shit. Oh man,
I have no choice now.
I've been chambering that one for a while, dude.
That was in the chamber.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Well, and so Child's Play. I'm a fan of Child's Play. I like that Chucky, man.
You like that Chucko?
Yeah. Chucky really leaves a lasting impression on the youth.
It's funny. As a child, I found it terrifying because I think I just associated with like general fear of ventriloquists and whatnot. But then you watch it
and like sentient dolls.
Yeah. And then you watch it again as an adult, and you're like, "This is hilarious." Like,
yeah.
I haven't seen any Child's Play movies since like not being a child.
Like Bride of Chucky is just straight up a comedy. Like it's just
The trailer sold it as one. I think.
Yeah.
Well,
they started like being like, just fuck it, let's just do it.
they kind of went the way of like Nightmare on Elm Street, where they like got progressively funny, and then they came back to like horror eventually.
Yeah.
I'm gonna name drop somebody right now, but hold on for it. My kid was very obsessed with Child's Play. He never saw the actual movie, but he watched the trailer, and I have like a little figure of Chucky, and he was obsessed with Chucky.
Interesting.
Show me the trailer again, and then show the trailer. He's like, okay, pause it where his face is burned. And you're like, oh man. And so he was really obsessed for a while. And this is pre-COVID. This is pre-COVID. And then my wife went to see a movie with one of her friends, and they were leaving the movie. Coincidentally, it was the ArcLight, which they're closing now. And her friend ran into another friend, and she was on a date. And they're like, "Hey, long time no see," and they start talking. And they're like, "Oh, hey." Long story short, she introduces the guy she's on a date with, and it's Don Mancini, the writer of Child's Play.
Oh, okay, cool.
And my wife goes, "Oh my, I have a kid, and he's obsessed with Chucky right now." And she's like, "Surprisingly, that's not the first time I've heard this. Apparently, like all kids are obsessed with Chucky. Apparently, so it's normal. No, I don't have to be scared of my kid."
There you go.
You should be scared of all children.
Exactly.
It's not an isolated
I'm reminded
fear.
of Bob from Bob's Burgers. Children are terrible. Why do we keep making them?
Yeah, that's true.
Boy, that was a whirlwind, Dan. Thank you. Thank you for taking us through.
Yeah, now we are time traveled up to speed into 1998 November. We're ready to rock.
1988 November.
Did I say 98?
Yeah. I thought I missed.
Damn it! I time traveled too far.
We jumped too far, just like the Traveler when he took us too far.
I slungshot around too large a sun.
Yeah. Or too large a pervert.
Ironically, the name of the song that was playing for your section is Around the Sun.
Yeah.
Not
nice
ironically,
one, Nate.
Fittingly. So.
Nice one, Nate. No, that's what you want, because that's how you time travel, damn it.
For some reason.
We gotta get the whales.
It makes no sense considering they're already going 10 times the speed of light.
Shut up, the whales. You gotta bring the whales back.
Whatever. Anyway. So we also have a thing to introduce Ricardo section. He goes through. It's a very special guest. Maybe you'll recognize the person, Ricardo.
Ricardo, could you please tell us what happened in this episode?
What the fuck?
Yeah, it says that is Denise Crosby. So,
oh my god!
Wow, I didn't even know about that.
I know. I was holding it back.
Dude. It's
only person I told was Nate.
Damn,
awesome.
Dude.
So.
That's awesome, dude. Well,
shout outs to Denise. Thank you, Miss Crosby. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So Ricardo,
sad about your death.
Yeah, that's one of the things I had said was like she was your favorite, Ricardo's favorite character.
Yeah,
and we had to hide it for 20 episodes.
God damn it!
I did it like unwittingly, effortlessly. I'm still baffled at how I never slipped up while not thinking about it.
Yeah. I was really upset, man. I can't believe you're bringing up some horrible feelings, and I don't like you.
Well, here's a consolation
for the intro, but I kind of hate you right now.
Well, this is your consolation prize. She will be in every episode.
Oh, so. That's pretty nice. All right,
good gift.
So we have the first episode of the second season. We start off with some beautiful graphics. The visual effects.
Mm-hmm. We are being reintroduced to the world of TNG.
Well, also it seems like oh my god, there's a cat and she's fucking crying. I apologize for the cat in the background. She's hungry.
Oh, that's what that is. I thought that was a child.
No,
cats are children.
Yeah, that's
unfortunately.
I guess so.
With longer fingernails. And so we see the first shot. We see some of the first shots, and they're impressive. I think it's a big leap from the first season from all the effects we've seen.
For sure. Like I think they got a better budget, and they also had a better idea of what the set of this is the part of the show cycle where we built all of the props and models.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah.
So now all we need to know is how to use them over and over again.
Yeah, the Starfleet uniforms are still about the same.
Yeah, they haven't changed.
But Riker does have his beard now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, spoiler alert. So the episode opens and you see there's a special effects shot that I want to point out because it's they're on the, I don't even know what you call it, the deck or something. Not the deck.
It's a shuttle bay,
like the shuttle bay or shuttle bay.
Boom, that's it, dude. And you see a shuttle leaving, and it's pretty amazing that effect.
For 1989, that's very good. Or 88, that's really good.
And the thing is that this is a TV show, not a movie. So if it was a movie, you'd be like, "Oh, it's pretty impressive." I accept it, but for a TV show, that's pretty advanced. Mm-hmm. And then we're introduced to the first new character of the season, which is Riker's beard. It's beautiful.
It is.
You think he just didn't want to shave, and he's like, "Nah, I grew this beard."
Oh, there's a story actually. So, when TNG came back, fans were elated. So conventions for Star Trek exploded again, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And in one convention, before they started filming the next season, Gene Roddenberry and one Riker, Jonathan Frakes, went to a convention together, did a panel together, right? And Jonathan, he was just between seasons, so he's lazy, so he had his beard on. But he'd always planned to shave it. But Gene, being the guy he was on the stage, went, "Man, Jonathan, that's a really good looking beard. Folks, what do you think?" And then he asked the audience, and the audience all cheered. And he was like, "We got to keep it now. We got to keep it for the show." Hence, they just kept it for the show. Just because Gene Roddenberry was like, "I think that looks good."
Well, congrats, Gene Roddenberry. You made a good decision.
Yeah, actually,
first time.
Yeah, actually, it becomes the defining way that Riker looks, right? So, Jonathan Frakes' his whole career, really, because even in Beyond, I almost said Beyond Good and Evil. What's it called?
Beyond
Factor
Belief.
Fiction. Beyond Belief. Factor Fiction. Bearded Riker is the meme now, right? So it's
just real quick though. Every single compilation that exists of Jonathan Frakes telling you things in rapid fire succession, those are all amazing. Thank you, whoever compiles those. Thank you.
So this is funny because I'm looking at his beard, and I'm looking at pictures of future episodes and stuff. only stills, not video, and it's connected. But here it's not connected. You have like the mustache and then the beard. There's a little
because it wasn't planned, so he was just like growing it, and then and then it'll get thicker and thicker.
Yeah. But you know what? It's getting there. Yeah. So we're introduced to a new character, and then we get introduced to a couple new things. So like Wesley now he's got like a Jordy's old gig.
He's permanently at the helm now for some reason.
This episode. So I enjoyed this episode, but one of the things I hated was I thought they hinted at Wesley leaving, and I was like, "This is amazing. This is why the season. This is why the show gets good." They kick him off the show,
and he's so depressed, and that makes you feel great.
Yeah, I'm like, thank God. I hope the next scene they show that girl he liked from that test he took, and she's like, "I fucking hate you, Wesley. Never come."
And she has a boyfriend or someone with her, and then she's like, "I'm going out this person now.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Wesley."
I
will say, I honestly do think for some reason, what's his fucking name? This actor, I forgot.
Wesley Snipes.
Yeah, Wesley Snipes. He's a better actor when he's sad, I think. I find him more believable than when he's like upbeat and like, I'm doing Wesley things. It's like, I think when he's sad, I'm like, I can more understand him as a character.
Maybe that's Will Wheaton's natural state.
Will Wheaton, that's his name. I was way off. Right. Wesley Snipes.
Yeah.
I was convinced it was Wesley Snipes.
Yeah, too.
I mean, I know it's Wesley Snipes, but every so often I hear Will Wheaton, so...
yeah. So then you have... so Jordy's got a new gig. He's like the chief engineer now. Mm-hmm. So wasn't Argyle the chief engineer?
Remember how the engineers kept changing? First it was that lady who would refuse to get drunk.
Yeah.
Then it was
smart, actually.
Yeah,
smart
she was
lady.
awesome. She was like, I know exactly what's going on this ship. Then it was Argyle.
Yeah.
Funny story about Argyle.
Funny story about Argyle. Never wore Argyle.
No, he didn't.
No,
Not
he
even
didn't.
Once.
Yeah.
No.
So apparently the reason why Argyle was kicked off is because the actor really, really wanted to be Argyle as a main character, right? So what he wanted to be the Scotty of the show.
Yeah.
And they were actually on track to making him do that, but he went too far. He tried to pretend there was a fan campaign to get him to become a regular on the show. The problem is he made all of these fake like fan letters to send to the producers.
Oh my God.
But he sent them before the first episode with Argyle aired.
Oh my God.
You idiot.
So the producers are like, you know what? Fuck you.
Yeah.
You fucking donkey.
Yeah.
So then they replaced him with the jackass character who tried to
the racist guy.
Yeah, the racist who tried to
contrarian.
Yeah, who just
he was just a contrarian.
Yeah. No matter what Jordy said, he said the opposite.
Yeah,
and
we should stay and help the captain. No, fuck that. We should leave them. All right, we're leaving. You were leaving. No, fuck that. What are you leaving?
How could you leave them?
Yeah.
And then finally, they just do Jordy because honestly, Jordy had been doing a lot of engineering. Despite being a helmsman,
total sense.
You know, like so, it's like he's fine. Also, notice Worf's costume is also yellow now. So I learned what that means. Yellow means you're in operations. Operations aren't officers. So I don't know why Worf changed. I guess because even though he's technically an officer, he switched over to operations division, which consists of people who are like security and stuff and engineers. So I think the colors now make more sense. But I don't know. You know, I don't know.
If you say so.
I don't know.
So Jordy is talking to the captain. He's like, "Hey, we got this containment thing," and so I was a little confused, maybe because I was a little high, but one. So they're gonna put a virus in there, and then they're gonna carry the virus and take it somewhere else for them to study it.
Yeah, it's another damn huge threatening virus threat.
Yeah, it's they're basically couriers. Yeah.
They're transporters, you would say.
Indeed.
This
is a very elaborate transporting mission.
Yeah, and they're like,
it's actually a small Chinese woman inside the virus container.
Yeah, and they're like, don't open the trunk, dude. Don't open this thing. And they're like, yeah, it's fine.
But but I understand why you're confused by the premise, because why would you risk the Starfleet like flagship to transport the most dangerous virus.
That's what confused me. Is that like what is happening? And then, but I get it. Like they're like, hey, Statham's on the ship. If this thing gets out, he'll roundhouse kick the shit out of it back.
We'll kick it.
Yeah. We asked Starfleet, who's your best transporter, and they gave us you.
Yeah. Oi! And there's a BMW just sitting in the fucking cargo bay.
When they land, it flies out with the containment field in the trunk.
Well, it's actually an Audi. Sorry, in the first season was a BMW. Then they got a sponsorship with Audi.
They stuff it in the boot.
Yeah. So Geordi's like all happy, and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna need all the energy. You can't warp. We're gonna have to cruise it."
Yeah,
and
we have to 3D print all of the parts for this really quick.
And there's a cool special effects where it's like a hologram of the thing in front of them.
Oh yeah, it looks like a Star Fox boss.
It's cool.
Yeah. And it's really cool because you had kind of seen special effects like that, but these were looking a little better. These looking a little modern.
For sure.
True.
And it's like more subtle. You don't notice it as like they're doing special effect. It's more of like there's a thing here. Cool.
Yeah. And then you have this little star, little butthole star, and it's flying. And again, they run in all these things they run into. Remember the same? First of all, I thought, oh, here we go, another goddamn holodeck episode where the holodeck gets a surge and something's happening. But no, so this star comes in and it's like buzzing around. It's like a little busy bee, and then Data kind of like finds that it's an energy surge. So he's like, oh, hey, he calls Geordi. He's like, hey, what's going down up down there? Is there anything weird? And he's like, nope, nothing. Everything's cool, kosher down here. And then the little lights like zipping around everywhere, hiding from people. It's weird. But finally, it appears in. First it appears in this dude's sleeping quarters, and I thought, well, this is weird. And he has a lot of chest hair. And I was like, is he exploring his chest hair?
It's a forest of hair.
He's exceedingly hairy. It's so distracting.
Yeah. And it was. And then it's like, no, this guy has too much hair. Can't explore him. So this little thing keeps on going. It's buzzing.
I'll be lost.
Yeah.
How many points of light have there been as like characters in this series so far?
I've lost count.
If you're counting even the stupid like crystal,
the micro brain,
that still counts because it was like a little bright thing.
At first, yes. At first, it qualifies.
Yeah, so it's just like
so. There's at least the third one.
Yes,
at least probably more.
It's a lot of entities just floating around in space.
They'll do that. Those entities.
Yeah.
Well, this entity is a goddamn fucking rapist, dude.
Oh boy, is he?
Oh boy,
it goes up the sheets of Deanna Troi, and then it inserts itself.
Yeah, it's very directly going straight in.
And she's kind of has like I would call it an erotic dream, maybe. She's got a. I don't know what it is. Yeah. I don't want to classify it,
but it's distress though. She's not.
It seems like Marina Sirtis didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Because how do you respond to that? Really?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. So it inserts itself. It inserts itself. Sorry, into her, and then we go to commercial. We go to the intro.
Yeah,
and then we have We're back with the captain, and the captain is talking about this new character that's arrived. We haven't met her, and it's the doctor.
Yeah.
By the way, I never look at the I'm always into like what's happening, and I never look down. I usually never look down to see like the credits. You know what I mean? So I didn't know this actress was in this thing, and I was like, oh, what the fuck is going on here? But so that was a surprise. But anyway, there's a bunch of new characters, and the first character we hear about is this doctor that's going to replace
Dr. Pulaski.
Known deadbeat mom, fucking Beverly Crusher.
So this is partly why I was always chuckling when you said what Beverly Crusher is a deadbeat mom, because she literally does eventually abandon him on the ship.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I've been talking about this for a whole season, and it happened.
It really worked out
left.
It worked out for Beverly because Wesley.
She's a deadbeat mom, and she doesn't have to deal with him.
Yeah, exactly. It worked out for her as a deadbeat because it was Wesley's decision. He was like, you know what, Mom, I don't want to be. I want to be away from you. And she's like, oh, if that's what you really want, son. Yes.
But she left before it happened.
Yeah, she couldn't wait to get out of there.
Because
the explanation
together later. Don't worry.
How does it make sense
don't worry,
that
champ.
she would leave the ship, but he would stay behind? It doesn't make a lot of sense.
Doesn't at
like
all.
Why would they have split up ever to begin with?
Wesley had to stay behind and helm the ship for about 3 months.
For some reason.
Yeah.
Actually, how long has it been since the end of season 1?
Well, the length of the beard.
Oh, that's actually a good way to put that. So if a beard needed to get that big, probably 3 months.
Yeah.
Probably about 3 months. Yeah.
Depending on the guy.
Earth months. Yeah.
I could spend 3 months and grow nothing.
Well, yeah. I guess if you're the dude that's laying with the chest hair, he's like, it's like 2 days.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Maybe that's an alien race guy. He's a hairy Chilean.
Yeah.
And so
Harry Jillian.
So then they're like, hey, where's this new doctor? And they're like, we don't know, dude. And she's like, she boarded the ship hours ago.
Yeah.
And they're like, I don't know. Who knows? So they find out that she's like what turns out to be a bar.
Yeah.
Right?
10 forward.
Which is a good place. Good impressions there. They're like, hey, where is this fucking doctor? She's like late to work. Oh, she's hanging out at a bar. Don't worry.
Yeah. And Bernard's also, like, I can't believe she's already found the bar.
In the defense
I like
of the
that
doctor,
wording. She's already found 10 forward.
Yeah.
So, and that's the name of the bar?
Yeah, 10 forward. So it's called 10 forward because it's on the 10th floor on the forward part of the ship.
Okay.
So that's why you always you see all that crazy, like when they were looking at the window later in the episode, and like everything's moving super fast and it's weird. It's because that's that they're literally looking out the window as it's turning, and you're like, oh, okay.
So she's at a bar, but also, how does one study to be a doctor in that society? Like Beverly Crusher just kept using the pen, the morphine pen on everybody. Like, I have a fucking footache, boom, morphine, boom, there you go, dude.
And she'd also be like, I don't know what this is.
Yeah, I don't know what this is. This person's dying. Boom, morphine.
Yeah. or I don't know what it is. We need to figure it out. I'll just look at Google.
Yeah.
Which honestly is what my doctor does. I've seen him do it.
Really?
So, yeah.
You know what? I noticed a closed caption while watching this on Netflix when reviewing for this episode.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really been seeing the closed caption, but this is what it says. It says in parentheses, device hisses. But I feel like I should see that caption way, way more, because there's always hissing shit in this show. Every little thing that's held up to to any portion of skin goes. Even the doors go. Everything hisses in this show.
Yeah.
It's a huge hissy fit.
So the next thing, the captain's like, fuck it, dude, I'm gonna go find her, dude. Maybe I'll get a drink.
I'll talk to her.
Yeah. So he gets in an elevator, and Wesley was leaving the elevator, but he comes back in. He's like,
oh, this conversation's so awkward.
Very awkward.
Do you have it?
Oh, I didn't bring it up because there's so many gaps in it. So it's just a lot of waiting for people to talk.
Sure. This is a very awkward conversation because two things. A lot of awkward pauses.
Yeah.
And then, oh boy. Captain Picard backs up because he's like,
it's weird.
This elevator is so big. This is so much room, real estate here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna just back up a little bit from this kid. He's way too close. And fucking Wesley gets even closer.
Get away, Wesley.
Get away, dude. And Captain won't even look him in the eyes. And this I suspect is because that's his father. He's like,
he has to, because he's like, oh my god, do I finally have to confront the truth now that he's going to be leaving the ship? I need to really.
Also, I have
maybe
to confront
that's a
the truth.
subtext for why Beverly left. It's like, he's yours now.
Yeah. So basically, he's like, hey, he's finally like, the captain's like, yeah, sorry, your mom's not here, and sorry, you're alone. And he's like, yeah, it's fine. I have some projects to finish, and then I'll leave. I'm gonna go to I got some power converters. I'm gonna go to Tashi Station, and he's being really fucking whiny as shit, dude. Really whiny as shit, dude. And finally, they get to the bar, and you're right. Pouty Wesley is a little better, but still not a fan, dude.
Yeah, he's just. I've grown to realize a lot of it also is just that he's not a great child actor. So like you watch him in comparison to the other adults, like especially to like Patrick Stewart, who is a fantastic actor.
Yeah,
and you see Patrick trying to carry Wesley through like a scene, like this type, like especially a scene where like this where they're like really awkwardly close together, and Patrick Stewart has to respond like realistically and appropriately.
Well, he does a wonderful job of staring like intently into space, like like with a sour look on his face. It's good. Really good at it.
Yeah, and then Wesley, Will Wheaton's just kind of just yelling his lines, and it's like,
yeah.
And
so he tells him like, hey, basically like he's like having second thoughts about leaving the ship because it's the Enterprise, and the Enterprise is known. It's a known ship. But that's
it's a flag.
It's a resume ship.
It's a resume ship. But you know what? Transport this fucking deadly virus. It's fucking bullshit. And so he's like, yeah, just figure it out, dude. Don't bother me, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking bitch.
Onto this cruise ship, basically. It's basically a cruise ship with guns on it. That's what the Enterprise is.
Yeah.
Because there's so many civilians just hanging out, having a good time.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
That's
hanging
kind
out
of
the
point.
holodeck.
Yeah.
And so they go to the bar, and who's there but fucking Whoopi Goldberg?
Yeah.
Fucking looking at ghosts everywhere, I guess.
Yep.
She's a ghost translator.
Yeah, dude.
And so he comes.
She's one of the best characters in TNG, and it's really obvious how much of a better actor she is than most of the characters she's going to interact with. So
true.
It becomes like a really interesting, like complete imbalance of acting talent, except for the conversations where like Patrick Stewart and Guinan are talking. Those are really cool scenes, as you'll eventually see. But
starting from now, she becomes the Wilson of the show.
Yes,
or like Cheers.
Yes.
It's like there's like two shows, Star Trek and Cheers.
Yeah.
Though I never seen Cheers. I never seen
Home Improvement in Cheers.
I've seen Home Improvement though.
Yeah, so she's Wilson.
She's Wilson. Okay. So, which is weird because we've never seen this bar. We don't know it exists, and all of a sudden, like, hey, turns out that there's a bar.
Yeah, and it's apparently been there the whole time.
Yep.
So
it's not like, hey,
it just wasn't important until now.
Yeah.
Now Whoopi Goldberg's in it.
Yep.
Yeah. And no one did they ever mention like, oh, I'll go hang out at the bar, dude. No, never. They're
let's have our fancy dinner in this conference room instead of the restaurant.
Exactly, the nice restaurant that has a nice fucking view. And so. You have this doctor and he Captain Picard's like, Dr. blah blah Polanski, Roman Polanski. And then she's like, Captain, sit down. And he's like, whoa. And I'm like, dude, this guy, I like her. She just basically cut off the captain and was like, sit the fuck down, dude.
Taking control.
Yeah.
She knows something's important.
Yeah. And not like Beverly Crusher. Beverly Crusher would have just wasted a bunch of time. She was a horrible doctor.
Captain, you have to
I'm
come
glad
to
she's
10
gone.
forward.
I'm glad. I'm going to say it. She's a deadbeat mom. She's a horrible doctor. How many viruses couldn't she not figure out?
It's true.
How many people died under her watch, dude?
Denise Crosby died under her watch, so you hate her.
I know, dude.
Yeah,
I'm glad
Pulaski
she's gone.
probably would have saved her.
If she comes back,
you can
I'm really
blame
fucking
Beverly
pissed,
for Atasha's death.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
100%.
Never thought of that. Fuck, dude. All right. So next thing you know is like they're all meeting in the conference room, and the new doctor's there, and I like the new doctor.
Yeah,
I like her a lot too, except for one particular detail,
which
will soften over the course.
It's a character arc.
Yeah,
so we'll see. But anyway,
that she hates Data.
Well, she has a general distrust of technology, which is really funny in Star Trek world. But Data is the personification of that. So she like AI to her is like really like uncomfortable, and she's not sure how to properly interact with it.
Yeah.
But the thing that happens at this meeting is that, of course, Deanna Troi announces she's pregnant.
Yeah.
And then Riker is the most scared we've ever seen him.
Yeah,
that's true.
He was getting sucked in by venom, and he was like,
oh no, Data, help! But here she's like, oh,
Yeah,
I have the clip because it always makes me laugh out loud right here.
play it.
Counselor Deanna Troi is pregnant. She's going to have a baby.
Baby.
I wish you could see the video of it because it's Riker also whipping his head over and be like, baby.
Yeah. Before Picard's even done talking.
Yeah. He cuts him off because he's terrified he's the father.
And you see him doing quick math on his fingers. He's like, no.
Fucking Riker.
But then it feels like he gets really jealous. Like he's like, what the fuck, dude? What the fuck's going on?
Yeah, this becomes a scene where I think this is the scene that kind of cements what's it called? Star Trek. You know, they're not usually overtly political, but to me, this reads as pro-choice because what's happening is a bunch of dudes are all trying to talk about her and what she should do, and then she eventually just cuts them off and goes, "No, I'm gonna do what I want." So I have the clip here because I just found it interesting how they very directly reference how everyone's trying to figure out what to do with her body. So it's like,
I don't think this is a random occurrence. I think there's a purpose here, a reason. What? I don't know.
Captain, obviously the pregnancy must be terminated.
yeah, like
For the
fucking Worf
safety of
is
the ship and the crew.
Worf, you can't assume the intent was belligerent.
That is the safest assumption.
Captain, this is a life form. Not to allow it to develop naturally would deny us the opportunity to study it.
If the fetus is aborted, laboratory analysis is still possible.
Doctor, is there any health risk to Counselor Troi if the fetus is aborted?
Captain, do whatever you feel is necessary to protect the ship and the crew. But know this. I'm going to have this baby.
And it seems that the discussion is over.
Yeah, so I find that interesting because, like, Riker is misguided, but he seems to have her interest in mind. Worf just wants to kill the baby right now.
It's a security concern.
Yeah. And then fucking Deanna
What if the baby's the next Hitler?
And then Data is like, let's study it like it's a specimen.
That clip is why I love this episode, is because you really have all these people trying to make this choice for this woman.
Yeah.
And finally she was like, no, fuck you guys. Do whatever you have to do to protect the ship, but I'm going to have this baby. But you have Data who's pro fucking life. What a weird thing. And then you have Worf who's like, fucking let's kill it, dude. Let's kill it.
But they're all being prescriptivists. They're all prescribing what's supposed to happen to her.
But before this, the clip you just played, we learned that the doctor says that it's growing at a rapid pace.
Yes,
right.
It'll be born in 36 hours.
That's why Worf is like, whoa, we don't know what we're dealing with here.
Right.
So
yeah, like with that detail in play, like Deanna's own attitude toward it is surprisingly like laissez-faire.
Well, I think it's partially implied she has an unconscious psychic connection with it, so she understands it's not.
Well,
evil.
yeah, and I think that's the other dimension of like this discussion that we were just having about like her sudden interjection to say like I'm having this baby up through the like during that clip you played. The reason why that audio was so like echoey and distorted is because it was kind of like Deanna's POV where she's like constantly looking at the footage of the fetus.
Yeah.
And we're hearing like the heart beating, and it's like she is somehow sensing something from the fetus itself.
Yes.
And so it almost feels as though, political arguments aside, or pro-choice, pro-life arguments aside, like the fact of the matter is that she is establishing a connection to this being inside of her somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, considering the time or the era of this episode's creation, I almost want to say that might be like the primary motivation behind her saying this, like, I'm having this baby because like I literally have a connection with it right now.
Maybe.
Yeah.
That could be the motivation in terms of the the subtext behind it.
I do like that they so this idea of this being growing up rapidly, that's what I loved a lot about this episode as well. Like so my initial thought was like, oh, this baby's gonna be born and she's gonna lose the baby because it's gonna be old.
Oh,
like in like 3 days, it's gonna be like 70, 80 years old, and it's gonna die, and that's gonna be funny because not only is because she's gonna lose her child like within 3 days, and she's gonna be so fucking. I mean, not funny, but you know what I mean.
No, it's funny.
It's funny because it's like 3 days, and the kid's dead, and they're like, and then Worf is like, well, I guess we had nothing to worry about.
It terminated itself.
That baby had no honor.
Yeah, but. He didn't fight anybody in his lifetime, and it's just a funny concept to like have this thing grow so fast that I was like, oh, this is gonna be an interesting episode. Just like other episodes that they've done like this that I've been interested in. They're like, no, we're not gonna do that. The thing you think, the wild idea you have, nah. We're gonna do something stupid, and this, it was the case with this one. But I still enjoyed. I enjoyed that it was kind of political and like they had something to say. But at the end, it was like, and I like Deanna Troi's character more because of this episode. Because she spoke up. You know what I mean? It seems like sometimes her character isn't as
active,
as assertive.
Yeah, she doesn't usually get to make her own decisions very often. She's usually reacting
like an advisor. Yeah, she reacts and advises as opposed to, hey, nah, fuck that. Fuck you guys. Shut the fuck up.
That's true.
Sit down and let me have my predator baby. And so she's like, nah, fuck that. I'm doing this. You guys could come in fucking armed and do whatever you guys need to, but I'm gonna have this baby.
Yeah.
And then you have kind of like Riker kind of being like, oh yeah, okay, that's pretty fucking cool, man. Like I expect
Picard.
To be like,
Picard. I love that he actually goes, well, she's made her mind up, so that's the end of that discussion. Like he's doesn't want to like carry on. He respects that she's made her choice. I think. And
then the next scene, she's even more pregnant. Like you,
she's got a robot now.
Yeah. Like they're like, we don't have clothes for you. We can't replicate them right here in this fucking replicator thing. We're not ready for this. And so the next scene, she goes to the bridge and they're talking about how they've arrived at this place where they're gonna get this virus. And one of my favorite character actors is in this, Seymour Cassel.
Yes,
this is a great. Is he in more episodes or is this it?
No, this is a cameo. Okay. But I love that he's in it as a character who is as casual as Seymour Cassel can be in like a Cassavetes movie where he's like natural. I love that he responds to Captain. Oh, you're here, good. All right, let's get it up, okay? All right, that'll be great. Like I love that that's the way he's talking about this. Yeah, he's like a very different type of voice compared to the very formal way everyone else talks in the Enterprise, where he feels kind of like we gotta get the job done. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I mean with a name like Hester.
yeah.
It's a good name for a character like that.
Yeah, and
it's a good name for a mustache like that.
Yeah, he's got the Kurt Vonnegut look going with the mustache.
For those of you who don't know, he's a very famous character actor. He's been in like Dick Tracy, Rushmore, Life Aquatic. One of my favorite movies, In the Soup, which is a really funny movie with Steve Buscemi. But he's in a bunch of Wes Anderson movies.
Well, he's probably most known for his partnership with Cassavetes, John Cassavetes, for most of it. That's where he got the Academy Award nomination, right?
Yes. But how many people in the general public are like big Cassavetes fans? That's why I mentioned
they should watch at least Faces. I'm just saying.
But Seymour Cassel is one of my favorite characters because you hit it right in the nail. You hit the hammer right in the nail when you said he's like an everyman. Yes. And two of my favorite actors, like all-time favorite actors, are Seymour Cassel and God damn it, I was paying attention to you and I forgot his goddamn. Oh, Harry Dean Stanton.
Oh right,
Harry Dean Stanton is one of my second favorite actors because they play every man and they play him naturally, and it's just in the movie like Aliens. When you see Harry Dean Stanton, you accept the universe because you recognize him.
Yeah, you immediately accept them as like this is a future world, but these are the grunts of the future. Future, and it's like it's not like fancy. Like this is a shitty part of the future.
No, yeah, he does that exact same thing in Twin Peaks: The Return, where it's like, yeah, he's an everyman, but he lives in this town and he's carved out his niche here.
Yeah,
and you get to see him live it.
And with like Seymour Cassell and like something in Cassavetes, that's why he is. It's not like he's acting; he just is. And then you put him in like something like I don't know, Life Aquatic or something like that, something that's crazy like that.
Yeah,
or like something like this, and you believe it.
It grounds it. It grounds it. It makes you feel like these characters are normal.
Yeah. So he's talking about this virus and like basically like, hey, I'm gonna inspect the little cage you're gonna put this virus in, and then we're gonna give you the virus. And then you're gonna carry it because you guys are the best transporters in the whole galaxy.
It's heavily implied that all of these viruses were like artificially created for some reason.
God damn it! Dude.
Like, why?
That's what Pulaski theorizes. She says like someone was an eager beaver.
Why were they doing that?
Just mutating things to see just how bad they could get a virus to be.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And then so the next scene we see is Data. He's coming out of the elevator, whatever the fuck you call it, dude. I know I'm getting it. Yeah. Look, I'm going to call things my way. Right? There's electrolytes. There's Wesley Snipes. Elevator. So he gets out of the elevator, and Deanna Troi's there, and she's like, "Hey, Data, get me to the fucking sick bay, dude. The medical bay, because this baby, it's coming.
It's about to pop."
Yeah, and it's only been like 36 hours. So doctor's there, and she's like, "All right, let's get this thing going." And then basically, Data calls security first of all, and then they're gonna go have the baby, and Data of course helps Deanna. He helps her get to the actual like bed, and this is a funny scene that happens here, which is basically it's implied like, oh, you're gonna have somebody to hold your hand, some like sort of like support. You know what I mean? And the doctor basically tells Data like, oh, should we get a human? Basically, so many words is like we should get a human.
Yeah, we don't like the cold touch of an android.
Yeah. But Deanna Troi was like, no, like why wouldn't Data be like? Also, I feel like the doctor doesn't know Data, so it's like, dude, he's got a sense of humor. He sneezes on command. He's a cool dude, man. Just let him be. And Data's like very interested in how babies are born. He's got all these questions, and it's a funny scene where he's like kind of like. Deanna Troi doesn't get angry too often, but she seems a little like bothered by all the goddamn questions it has.
Yeah.
And we learned a couple things. One is that now they have a drug that will let you experience giving childbirth, but none of the pain. So you get both worlds. A little bit of both.
Is that what was going on? Or
well, the doctor says that.
She's the doctor offers her a drug that would alleviate any pain.
Yeah,
but then it turns out that she has no pain anyway.
Right. Oh, that's right. That's exactly what happened. Yeah. She's like, I'm actually not even feeling anything. So
yeah. Which is strange. And then later on, we'll touch on this point again. But so basically, she's not feeling anything and no pain. And so then security shows up, and it's 3 fucking dudes. They're armed to the teeth, I assume.
They got the big phasers. Yeah.
So the doctor's like, hey, stand by the fucking door. Chill out, dude. It's going to be fine, dude.
Meanwhile, also Riker is just lurking in a corner.
I know.
Watching
like
creepily.
A pervert, dude. And she, so she has a baby. She has a baby, and it's a human baby. And the
half human baby.
Half human, that's right. Half betazoid. And so she hasn't, and the doctor's like, see, it's fine, normal human baby, hands it to Deanna Troi. And the security officers get closer. They see that there's no problem, and then they basically leave. And for some reason, what's his name? Bearded dude.
Riker.
Riker, yes. Riker. God damn it. Old Beard McGee. He's all happy that she had a baby. Part of me thinks like I wonder if does he want a kid as well? And like, I don't know.
He's just happy for her. It's all the benefit of her having the baby without any of the responsibility.
Yeah,
so he's still be cool with it, you know.
Yeah, he's still be cool with the baby, and like he doesn't have to be jealous of some other dude.
Because they were like, oh, it just came out of nowhere. So he's like, I don't have to worry. It's not like when Teabag came out of nowhere and he was just sulking in the holodeck by himself.
Yeah, he's not gonna be sulking.
Yeah.
So she names him Ian. And it's funny. The first thing I thought is like, I wonder if she's gonna write it as Ian, but pronounce it Ian. An idiot. She names it Ian something, Alfred or whatever, after her dad.
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Hey, Riker, you were there all along." And he's like, "Yeah,
I was.
beautiful."
I was
Just like his mother.
Thing.
Wink, wink. And he gives her a kiss. And I was like, he still loves her. And then they have to deal with this stupid virus.
Yeah.
And they go get the captain, and the captain's talking to her about this baby and all this stuff. And they go back to look. He goes with the doctor to go look at the baby, and the baby's goddamn fucking 8 years now.
Yes.
4 years old, I think.
4 years old, sorry.
Well, yeah.
The first time, yeah. And the baby's 4 years old. And so like the thing I have, and I'm thinking like, so physically, I guess because it's an alien, right? This
is alien magic bullshit.
So it could accept or it could absorb information really fast. But imagine if you had a child that grew up to be 8 years old within one day, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have the hours of the day to teach this kid how to even talk. How does this kid know how to talk?
Okay, I was starting to get hung up on this myself, and then the conclusion that I had to draw was that since this kid is half Betazoid, he gets some assistance.
Oh, that makes sense.
Like some mental assistance in acquiring language from that.
It does require some mental gymnastics, but I'll accept that.
That's the best I can come up with.
For me, I was just like, it's just a magic alien. It's just absorbing shit. It's fine.
Yeah, but if you have to get to specifics, that's as close as you get.
Yeah, I don't think you can get that specific, unfortunately. Just because.
Okay, but real quick, I want to say that whenever a tiny child that's only a day old tells you to please don't worry.
Oh my God.
And that's a very solid reason to start worrying.
That's very specifically in my notes.
Yeah.
Where I was like, no child should ever tell you to don't worry. Everything is okay.
Yeah.
Even
when there's nothing to worry about and everything's okay, they should never say that.
Yeah, exactly. No. Because a child doesn't know that.
Yeah. You know what? It's funny. This is completely has nothing to do with Star Trek, but it's just something I hate. I hate when people say, "Oh, my kid's my best friend." I hate that so much. I see it. I see different parents do that, and I'm like, this fucker's not my best friend. I can't tell him my secrets, dude. No, you know. Yeah,
it also messes them up a bit if you treat him as a
those
best
are legit
friend,
boundary issues, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I'm not a parent. I'm not going to prescribe, but I would imagine you can't just be like, "Hey, we're just best dudes hanging out all the time."
Yeah.
You have to have some level of authority.
Exactly. Like, hey, on the weekends, I hang out with my kid, and he's a cool bro. But guess what? When he's fucking jumping around like a wild animal, I gotta fucking yell at him, you know?
Yeah, when Dan's jumping around, I can't tell Dan, hey, go to bed, calm down.
Hey, calm down and go to bed.
You're not my real mom.
All right, so anyway, so the doctor and Data are analyzing the fucking kid, like the data from the kid.
Yeah.
And then she calls him Data.
Oof.
This is a sore spot for this guy, dude.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's Data. And she's like, what? And she's like, it's pronounced Data.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh. Like, she's like, oh, I don't know. I hurt your feelings, dude. And she goes and she scans him. And she's like, oh, you have circuit for feelings? And I like her attitude.
She's an asshole to him.
Yeah. Well, I feel like she's an asshole to everybody, though. I feel like she's got a lot of attitude, and I like that.
I think so. So this is actually this is a very minor spoiler, but this is actually the start of a general thing where she's like robo-racist. So she basically treats anything that is like AI or artificial or like isn't a human or a living thing as like, whatever. I can call you whatever the fuck I want because you're whatever, you know?
I'm like, why so sensitive?
Yeah. It's a character arc. There are things she will see, and you know,
easy skin job.
And she basically like makes fun of him for like having feelings. And but Data's like, fuck it, you fucking idiot, dude. You don't know anything, you stupid lady.
I have a job to do.
Yeah. And so they basically discover that this thing basically they discover that it's growing really fast, basically, and that there's something weird about it, about this kid, right? But and then also they discover that they're also studying this virus that's on the ship, and because Jason Statham can't do everything, dude. He can't transport the virus.
He's got so many responsibilities.
Yeah, so many responsibilities.
Yeah.
So many fucking...
That's not the only thing he's transporting today, okay?
Yeah.
No.
Transporting
got other
things.
things.
Oh, speaking of transporting, we skipped over this is a big thing to me, is that now Miles O'Brien is at his rightful post
as the transporter chief. But in the credits, he is yet to be named. He's still only referred to as transporter chief.
Yes, but...
Well, because he's one of the transporters. The transporter chief right now is Jason Statham. Until he leaves for a bit, and then they're like, well, this guy's...
Let's put in this
Statham's
Irishman.
always hanging out with ladies. Just take him away, like he's too popular. We got to have somebody who's stable and who's going to be here all
Fast
the
and the
time.
Furious wants him now. God,
Exactly.
so popular.
So anyway, they're basically you have the doctor talking to the captain. He's like, hey, this kid's going to be fucking he's going to grow up so fast, this kid.
Actually, just going to age to 8 years old and stay there.
Yeah.
And then the next thing that many actors.
Next thing we see is this kid's 8 years old and he's hanging out with puppies, and I'm thinking like, fuck, they have room for everything in this fucking place.
Yeah.
Also, if you
have a puppy bowl inside the starship.
It's the best nursery in the world.
Yeah.
They're adorable.
And I'm thinking like, why can't you just send kids to the holodeck?
Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
No, that's a very good point.
Well,
and have them play with cats and like, if you can make the holodeck do anything, they can play with fucking elephants, with tigers.
I think it turns out the holodeck's kind of dangerous. So maybe it's like a casual trip to the holodeck once created a virus that got everyone sick, right? So
yeah, but clearly the members of Starfleet don't seem to realize this danger.
That's true.
They keep using it over and over again. So fair game.
Yeah.
No, this is an idea. This is an idea that like Ensign Ricardo brings up at a meeting. And everyone goes, oh, why didn't we do that with Wesley years ago? Sort of thing. So
put him in a fake bridge.
Oh, he thinks he's always on
what they do is they're like shh, and at night they bring his bed over. They bring his bed into the holodeck, and he wakes up and he's in a simulation for like 50 years.
Spoiler alert. This is the plot of a Star Trek movie. So
is it really?
Oh, I don't even know which one that would be.
Put that out of your mind.
We'll get there maybe one day.
One day we will eventually potentially get to these movies.
Because that would be a great thing if they're like, if he wakes up one day and he comes out of the holodeck and he's like, what the fuck? And they're like, dude, you were in there for like 50 years.
You just got punked, dude.
You got roasted, dude. You lived 50 years of your life in a holodeck. Yeah. Gotcha,
Ashton Kutcher
bitch.
comes out from behind the door.
Yeah. And Wesley has kids, and then his kids just fucking disappear.
Everything he's ever known is completely fake. All of his friends, his family, his lover.
And then he's like, why will you do this to me? He's like,
the traveler.
Your mom requested it when she left. She's a deadly mom.
Your mom requested.
You telling me that my 50 years with the Traveler were a lie?
So anyway, Deanna Troi goes to pick by the way, for a kid who's only gonna live a few days, so he's aging rapidly.
You're wasting a lot of time.
Yeah, she just wasted like a couple hours by leaving him in the. She even the daycare lady says, "Oh, it seems like he's aged years since you left him." It's like, well,
yeah, he's taller now.
Yeah, and he's talking now.
Yeah.
So Deanna Troi takes them, and you see other kids there finally. And you see all these toys in the background. It's interesting. This daycare center. They have puppies in the middle. They have like a whole wall of like action figures and robots and stuff. Which is pretty cool. And then some kids playing with the hologram. I don't know what he's playing, but he's playing with the hologram.
It's future.
Yeah. And so the next thing you see is we're in the transporter room or whatever, wherever they store cargo, and you have that British guy that's in a bunch of British gangster movies, who becomes, you said, the head transporter guy. Saves him too many ladies, and so they're there, and Seymour Cassell's there, and Seymour Cassell's like, oh, we got a problem here. And it turns out that something's like stimulating the virus, and it's going to break out of the container.
Convenient.
If you were to see me in video, you'd see that I'm making the little explosion things with my hand. And so this virus is going to get out of the container, basically the little fucking box they made for it, and it's going to infect everybody probably and kill them. Which, how do we not see this coming? How?
Like, what was even special about your design if it can just grow its way out of it like anything else?
It's just it's just like a bunch of cells.
Yeah, it was just a bunch of hexagons.
You can't just cram it tightly in the fucking thing.
Yeah.
It's just a Super Metroid overworld map.
Just put some fucking duct tape on that shit, dude. So anyway,
that meme with the
flex
slap tape. Yeah, flex tape.
The slap shot tape.
Yeah, just
so they're like, oh, something's making it grow, and then they're like, hey, something sketchy is happening here. Anyway, yeah, and then next scene is Deanna Troi's making this kid dinner, which is not really she's not making shit, dude. She's just talking to a computer and
just replicating. She's not fucking making.
Which is now I'm just
quick
upset,
question:
dude.
Is this experience in terms of the food you get any different than what you get at 10 Forward?
I don't know. I think Guinan knows how to cook. So I think that might be it.
So you wouldn't be able to just get 10 Forward food in your own replicator in your cabin?
I don't 100%. See, here's the thing. On Voyager, they make the very clear distinction that Neelix actually is a cook. So he does actually cook the food. So people are like, oh, it was freshly cooked food. I don't 100% know if Guinan does that.
I think it's just the view. I haven't seen any episodes. I'm just going off of this episode. But,
I mean, the view is substantial.
I mean, it's just nice to have that room and to eat in that room, right? So that's a huge. It's
also nice and dark in there, unlike anywhere else in the ship.
Yeah, it's a big part of the dining experience. To be
also,
there.
You get to meet people like civilians could meet with like officers, and they could fuck, you know.
And Whoopi Goldberg's just there; you can talk to her.
Yeah. And if you have any ghosts near you, she'll fucking translate.
And if you're having any life problems, she'll solve them.
Fuck yeah, dude. I haven't seen any episodes, but I assume so. I assume that's what's gonna happen.
I mean,
it's gonna. Yeah. And so the doctor and Picard go to visit the kid who's now 8, and then Deanna Troi she zaps some food, and this kid, I don't know why this kid's playing with fucking spoons. And like, I wonder if like the Wachowskis were like, this should inspire us for a scene. With a spoon. This is a great episode.
It's not the scene inspires them. They say this scene should inspire us.
Yeah. We should write a scene with a spoon.
Yeah.
Kids love spoons. Kids love them.
They
do.
The Matrix.
Tossing them, folding them. They're doing so much stuff with them.
Putting them in their mouths.
Yeah. And so Deanna Troi brings his fucking food that she just zapped together. And she puts the soup down, and Picard's talking to this kid, and this kid's so goddamn dumb, dude. This kid puts his hand in the soup. He burns himself. And he's like, ah. And then the doctor's like, did you see that? He did it like on purpose to have that experience. But I'm thinking, no, if you know any of your old kids,
I would not have come to that conclusion. I just thought he's a stupid kid.
Yeah. All kids are that that way. Like you don't I know now better to put fucking hot soup in front of my kid, because the first thing he's gonna do is put his fucking finger in there.
But also, like, he reacted as if it was on fire.
Yeah.
Like, what soup?
To his in his defense, he's never experienced anything like this, right? Because
I guess so. Maybe it's the first time.
This is literally the first time he's eaten in the whole day.
His entire life. Yeah.
Like I have the scene like pulled up in my viewfinder here. And I'm noticing, like, it just reminded me how, like, in this particular episode, for whatever reason, we have like at least 3 or 4 instances of like watching like tears on people's faces.
A lot of crying.
There was a lot of crying in this episode, but it just stood out to me because whenever it's on Deanna, you can see the makeup running like all over her face.
You know.
Yeah. A lot of makeup. And the kid's wearing a lot of makeup. He was very adamant. He's like, dude, SPF 15 makeup.
No, it's because he has that mustache that made his career.
So the kid starts crying, and then he's like, why is my face wet? What are these tears? And well, he doesn't even know they're tears. He just like, why is my face wet, Mom? And then so he's basically experiencing all these experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And then Picard goes, "Hey, are you really ready to tell us why you're here?" And then he's like, "No, not right now. Maybe later." But not
Which
right
is
now.
sinister as fuck.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
But don't worry about it, dude. Everything's fine.
I did find it interesting though how Deanna like just fell right in with Picard with like, actually, yeah, though. Why are you here?
Yeah,
She kind of went out of like mothering mode for a second to be like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, actually, like
This is a fun
what are you
LARP,
doing?
but what's going
Yeah.
on?
Yeah, basically.
But also, I feel like maybe she was kind of getting that as well, like from like the kids older now and the alien entities experiencing now they're really connected, right? Psychically, basically.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
Right.
So there's something going on, and she feels it too. I think. I mean, they insinuate that she knows that it'll eventually come.
Well, yeah, like I
explanation or
think it's
whatever.
her proposition, like soon afterward, where she's like, well, he has something to tell us, and he will do so when his cognitive abilities have sufficiently developed.
Yeah,
Like I think she's the one who tells Picard that.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then we have another scene with Whoopi Goldberg and old fucking bitch ass Wesley. He's staring out the window of the bar, and they apparently let kids into this bar.
Yeah. It's a
and
future.
she basically offers him some sort of drink or something, some sort of milk, blue milk or something. And he's like, "Nah, I'm cool." And then she's like, "Are you sure you don't want milk?" And he's like, "Fuck, you've asked me a bunch of times. Chill out, man."
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Hey," and basically what this scene boils down to, I'm sure she's gonna have a lot of great conversations with great people that are not fucking Wesley.
Yes.
Wesley's the worst, dude.
Well-
But she has a conversation with him where he's basically like he's basically leaving the Enterprise even though he doesn't want to leave.
Mhm.
And basically the subtext is she tells him basically, say, "Hey, sometimes you have to learn to listen to yourself and know when you want to please others or when you need to please yourself."
Right, and like by the end, she says like you need to know when to let yourself be selfish.
Right.
Yeah.
I pulled it up.
Which is a good thing.
I pulled up that scene because this is the first Whoopi Goldberg advice scene.
Yeah.
So
Notable.
it's kind of important, and I want to just have a general discussion on Guinan in general, actually. So
What about a cup of nectar direct from Prometheus?
No, nothing. That's the third time you've asked me.
It's what I'm expected to do. Don't you always do what's expected?
I try.
Even if it's not what you really want?
Sometimes. Sometimes it's more important to consider others before yourself.
Yes. But sometimes the game is to know when to consider yourself before others. Give yourself permission to be selfish.
So yeah. So she's obviously in the role of advisor, right?
Is she a Betazoid?
No. So you don't know who she is. That's part of the, remember there's like a conversation later where like Wesley's like, nobody knows who you are. They say you know Picard, blah, blah. So she's a mystery.
I think that actually came up before this scene.
Oh, right. Yeah. But that's part of the thing I want to discuss is that they're, ever since the movie The Legend of Bagger Vance, everyone has been like, oh, there is now a very clear archetype you can see throughout, American fiction, which is the magical Negro character. And
well, to be clear, it's not like it originated with The Legend of Bagger Vance.
No, but it just made it so pointed. Like
right.
Will Smith's character is so much just like a magical character that just teaches golf and life out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So
later on, he switched to being a couples or dating advising guy.
Hitch. But it's just
exactly. You have Hitch. You have Shawshank Redemption.
Yep.
You have all these characters. Yeah, you pointed out, but it's very clear. It's a very archetype thing.
So that makes me like. So there's a lot of contention in Star Trek fandom. Is like, does Guinan count as a magical Negro character? Like in this first example, what do you guys think of that?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. I haven't seen much of her. She came out of nowhere, and so my first thought of her was that she was a Betazoid.
And that's why she has empathy and stuff like that.
Yeah, and also kind of like she also kind of can sense things. Because I imagine what you guys are hinting at, and what it seems like is that she'll definitely be like the counsel to people, where the people talk to her and she helps people out, to, work out their problems. But my second thought was like, man, she would have made a great Deanna Troi.
Yeah.
Like if she was cast before Deanna, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, for
she
sure.
would make a great Betazoid like advisor on the bridge.
She would, and she would bring in a perspective of someone who's just not
yeah,
like a white guy.
yeah. But anyway, those are my thoughts about her first appearance.
Right. So I think this is not a it's not like the magical Negro archetype is inherently malicious or anything. It's it's problematic in hindsight, where we realize this is how we were treating black characters. So I think there's nothing. I don't think Guinan wasn't, by any means. And I mean, this is the character. Like Whoopi Goldberg wanted to be on this show. Like she actually was a friend of LeVar Burton and was like, "Dude, you're on Star Trek. Can you get Jean to put me on Star Trek? I love to be on Star Trek. Star Trek was one of my favorite shows growing up, specifically because of Nichelle Nichols and Uhura." So she kind of wanted to be on the show, and I think this is actually kind of the role she wanted to be in, because she gets to be this like guidance character that can pop in and out based on her schedule, because she had a very busy career at this time. So at this point, she was just a guest star coming in and out.
Yeah,
so
like a ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess, but it does. She definitely, at least for now, to me, really matches the archetype. We literally don't know where she came from. She's mysterious.
Yeah.
She has the perfect advice to tell a white character on what to do, and she has no ulterior motive other than to just help people, which is like all noble things. It's just kind of interesting that even Star Trek had this.
No, like what you said at the beginning of that, what you just started saying is correct. That she fits the archetype currently.
Yeah.
Whether or not that is a good or bad thing, I don't feel like I can say.
Yeah, and I only wanted to bring it up now just to have it in our minds, because I think she honestly is one of my favorite characters in general in Star Trek. So I think
because there is more to her, and like by the time I had kind of dropped off my previous like attempt at watching through the series, I hadn't really seen everything there was to know about her. I was only starting to get a few more bits and pieces, like where she comes from and like her origins, and I was like, oh, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah. So I think I just wanted to have that idea, because it's a big thing in the community where people wonder if she should be classified as such. And I think we'll just revisit it, I guess, whenever she shows up in a capacity.
I predict that by the end of it all, it will be that she has had too much screen time and too many varied interactions with people to neatly fit into the category any longer.
Probably. But we'll see. It's been a while since I've watched the episodes this way, so
fair enough.
Yeah.
And then we go back to the bridge where they're having problems with this fucking virus. These fucking idiots, dude. And they're like, hey, it's gonna blow up, and the Data's like, is there something agitating it? Because it wasn't like this before. Now it's weird.
Yeah.
And they discover that there's like a weird level of radiation.
Some bullshit.
Some bullshit fucking
something's radiating in the ship and making it grow.
And making it grow. And she's like, oh fuck. All right. And then so they bring the doctor in, and then they're like, we can't destroy it. Which is stupid. It's like, yeah, who cares? Let's just fucking. And my theory is that they could have done it, but Seymour Cassell's character is stupid. It could have just jettisoned it, and then the radiation would have been gone. It would have been fine.
Well, I guess they're worried that it could just end up on another planet somehow. But
they briefly addressed that possibility.
Here's what we do. I'm gonna solve the problem right here. We jettison the fucking virus. We fucking shoot it, and it explodes outside, and then it's gone because there's a vacuum in space. Done.
Yeah, that would be my argument. Or put it in like some sort of super incinerator or something. It's not worth it.
Just hurl it into a sun.
Yeah.
Any star
surely
will do.
Surely couldn't survive a sun.
Yeah. So the
That'll
next,
do.
Yeah.
the next scene we see is Deanna Troi putting her kid to bed, and I'm thinking like, if I have 3 days with this kid and I'm falling in love with it, I'm not gonna put it to bed. I mean, like, you know what? Stay up as late as you want. Like,
Yeah.
it's fucking.
Let's watch
fine.
Predator together.
Yeah,
So
we're gonna watch Predator. I'm gonna give you a bunch of candy. I'm gonna introduce you to every candy tonight,
yes.
and coffee, by the way.
Well, okay. In Deanna's defense, this kid's been 8 years old for quite some time now, and he's not.
mean
He's
2
no
hours?
longer. What?
You mean like 2 hours?
Well, yeah, but like considering the rate that he's been going at so far, like
He does seem to
Yeah.
have slowed down a little.
he's slowed down a lot, right?
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So.
And then the kid's like, hey, it seems like everybody's worried on the ship, and she's like, yeah, I get sense it too. And the kid's like, it's me. Spoiler alert, it's me. And she's like, no, don't worry. You? Why? He's like, yeah, it's me. I have to leave now. And it's like, all right, it's gonna be bad for everybody. So just all right. And then she's like, what are you saying? And he's like, I have to leave now. That's what I'm fucking saying, dude.
I have
And then
to
she-
go
And she's
now.
like,
Flips
leave.
out.
And she's like, leave. And then she gets really worried. She's like, you're going to die? And it's like, how did you not? He's aging so fast. How did you not know he was going to fucking die? First of all. And then she's like, no, you can't do that. Oh, no. And then she calls the doctor. She's fucking worried. But this kid's like, I'm out. I'm going to, And he just fucking whoop.
He just switches himself off,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. Kind of like
Yeah.
the Matrix when someone unplugs you
Yeah.
and your body just falls in the Matrix.
Yeah.
Just like that, dude. The Wachowskis definitely watch the same episode. And so the doctor comes in, she does another scan. I'm like, oh, here we go. Beverly's methods now attacking this doctor. She's waving the wand and fucking let me poke him a bit. And then Data starts taking readings and he's like, oh god. Turns out this child's was
He's the source of the
he's the source of
Eichner
the goddamn-
radiation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bill Eichner radiation. And so he's like, and she's like, oh, so he was a problem. And he's like, yeah, that analysis is fucking correct. I'm glad he's dead. He doesn't say that, but I've read that.
Yeah, Data
so the
was like, oh, good.
yeah, thank God. Yeah, it's him. That's an area where you can kill one kid, but you could save everybody. This is the scenario we had here.
Yeah, well, that's literally the point of Khan, Wrath of Khan. He goes, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
Yeah.
So kill this kid.
Yeah, so the kid dies, and
It would be so hilarious to see Deanna yell Khan.
And so Deanna's really sad because this kid's fucking gone.
Mm-hmm.
But the radiation's kind of, it feels like it's going to dissipate, because it was. But also, I was thinking, like, how do they? What were they going to do? So, spoiler: the fucking kid turns into the little beam of light again.
Right,
becomes a light again. But
he was fine.
What if he hadn't? Would they have to just burn him up? Or like just jettison his body out into space? Like, all right, well,
I guess
dead.
only his humanoid form. Why did only his humanoid form generate this radiation when it was ostensibly like an anatomically half human, half betazoid, like Deanna is?
Because of the plot.
Yeah, I don't know. This is so confusing. But the idea of the episode of someone like having a kid out of nowhere and like it's an alien, it had hints of like Starman. Have you guys ever seen Starman, the John Carpenter movie?
The
which
pro
is
wrestler
very
from the Nintendo game? Yes.
Starman.
And so like that interests me a lot, and that's why I like this episode, because it's like it's reminiscent of Starman. And for a while, like I was thinking like, okay, like who is he gonna is this kid gonna represent somebody in Deanna Troi's life? Like for a while, I was like, is it gonna grow up to be? Is it gonna sense her love for like Riker? Is it gonna look like Riker when it's old? Like I had all these theories in my head, and it was none of them. It was a stupid fucking Starboy.
Yeah,
every single one of those is more interesting.
So Starboy becomes a star again, and then Deanna Troi's like, oh, holds him in his hand. He's like, oh, I loved you, my child, but now you must go and explore the universe.
She says that we will miss you, but literally no one but her is going to miss him.
Yeah.
No.
And I forgot to, I just brushed by this, but the doctor said at one point, she says there's no signs of her having a baby.
Yeah.
So like her body, like somehow magic happened.
Bounced right back.
She had like no baby weight.
It's
everything was fine. All her bits and
Eichner
pieces,
radiation, man, does wonders.
Yeah. And so she's like, oh, we will miss you. It's like, no one will miss this fucking kid.
No.
No one knew him. He was here for like
Worf is
for
like
5
who?
hours. Yeah, Worf is like, I'm glad I didn't have to shoot that baby. And so the Starboy fucking leaves and it's gone. And then like, oh, the radiation's gone. Oh, great. And that's it, basically. You find out. Oh, the last thing that happens, that the one thing I brushed over was Wesley's like, I want to stay.
Yeah, he wants to stay.
Oh,
Everyone's like, oh, they're all like joking around with him, being like, well, you're just a kid, so
Yeah.
if you're gonna stay, someone's gotta tuck you in a bed. Who's gonna do that?
And then
So basically-
Worf very seriously, begrudgingly volunteers to assume his tuck-in duties.
I will tuck him into bed.
I will tuck him in his bed, or I will shoot him if he doesn't go to sleep.
I will attack him with my bathleth if he does not enter bed.
I will show him our mating
Bathlets
calls.
are pretty sick, though.
I'll show Wesley our meeting rituals and our calls. Also our death
I will
yell.
ensure that he sleeps with honor.
Yeah.
I will teach him our sleeping cry.
Yeah.
Notice how Picard doesn't assume any responsibilities himself.
Yeah,
Most notably, he looks at Riker and he's like, well, we still need to find you, Dad.
Yeah.
Number one, how about you?
Yeah.
And Riker's like, sure, I'll be his dad. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
fine.
Sure, whatever.
So basically, what happens is that Wesley's like, hey, I want to be here. I want to stay here. I don't want to go anywhere else. I don't want to go back to my mom because she's a deadbeat and she'll probably kill me.
She probably hits him.
Yeah. And she's like, I don't know.
Probably makes
She's
all
like,
these devices hiss at him.
Basically like Picard's like, well, I'm not the only one in the ship, so I have to ask everybody. And so Picard's like, hey, since he's a child, we will some of you, not me, even though I'm the fucking child's dad. Goddamn fucking bitch ass fucking deadbeat. He has a deadbeat mom and a deadbeat dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at least the
that's
dad's
why-
sick.
But that's why he's the way he is. That's why he's a sociopath. He has no
True.
parental figures.
I know. And so he's like, hey, so everyone accepts responsibility. Like, I'll do this, I'll do that. Worf's gonna show him the mating call. And then finally he's like, hey, Riker, you're gonna be his dad. And he's like, nah, yeah, I'll do it. And he agrees to do it, and Riker's like, yippee.
I was about to say that Wesley is essentially going, yippee.
Yeah.
Also, I guess it's worth noting that Picard says, like, okay, but I'm going to ask your mom, and we're going to go with whatever she says. Clearly, she's going to go with it because she doesn't want to deal with you.
Hates you.
But we're at least going to ask her.
And then Wesley goes, "Oh, I'm sure she'll agree." I have the last part. I'm gonna just cut straight to the last part in the recording, so I'll show you.
Mr. Crusher, communicate with your mother at Starfleet Medical Headquarters. Give her my regards and tell her that you have my permission to remain on the Enterprise. But I will abide by her wishes.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. I know she'll agree.
I know she'll agree.
I know she'll agree.
She hates me.
Given the fact that like what happened in this episode,
Yeah.
I was expecting Deanna Troi to be like, I'll assume like the parental responsibility.
I see what you mean.
Yeah, I mean like if she's like, well, I had a kid.
Interesting. Yeah,
that would have been that would have been
how
a great
you would tie
relationship.
both stories together. Where that would have been good.
And
I don't know if it would have been good.
Well, it would
I
have
wouldn't
been
have wanted
thematically
that to happen,
appropriate.
honestly.
Yeah, but also like, and then if Riker would have said like, yeah, I'll accept too, then he would have had both a mother
Riker
and a
as
father,
dad
kind of,
and-
you know.
You know that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
They
Shut up, Dan.
She could have jumped in and said, I'll assume
I'm just
responsibility.
saying, I wasn't interested in watching Deanna mother Wesley for several seasons from now.
She would have been a better mother, dude. But
She would have been, but we
also
still have to deal with Wesley.
I know. They could have both snuffed him out at night. But here's this. If it would have been like, if Deanna Troi would have been like, oh, I'll accept the responsibility of like the parental responsibility. And then Riker would have been like, I will as well. That would have been not only a cool moment, like, oh, she's taking on responsibility because she liked being a mother, and it's kind of like she doesn't have to deal with a kid, but also now she's got a full grown kid, a little easier for her. But also it would have like kind of connected Riker and her again, like been like, oh, like like we have a thing. We'll raise this kid together. This bitch ass kid, this serial killer we got to control.
It's for the good of humanity that we keep him under control.
Yeah.
Until he's ready for the Traveler.
Until he makes a nuke with the fucking Traveler, dude.
Time nuke or something.
Yeah. A universe nuke.
I like how during this whole episode discussion, no one has cared or wondered why Beverly Crusher as the actor is gone.
No, I'm happy.
I would like to mention that ostensibly, at least in the show's canon, the reason why she left was because she became head of Starfleet Medical, which is like a very big promotion.
That's a huge promotion.
Yeah, like that's like wow.
That's almost what
that's
almost what Picard had gotten for Starfleet when he almost became Professor X for Starfleet. But you know, they gave it to her instead, I guess.
Yeah.
Instead,
X was going to give it to you, but
rip in peace, TMX.
Oh, well.
Arf, arf.
He had such a good heart that he made a motherfucker wonder if he did it.
But so she got fired or what? What's the deal?
Oh, the producer that took over for once
I think we touched on this in an earlier episode slightly.
Yeah, when Gene Roddenberry kind of stepped down, and I think it was Maurice Hurley. I forget his name. I'm terrible with names, but some guy took over, and he didn't like her. So
really,
yeah, so he kicked her off.
He's like, I don't like your face. You're out.
He
lined him up on the bridge. He lined him up on the bridge, and he's like, "You're cool. You're cool. You're cool. Fuck you. You're cool." And then she's like, "What does that mean?" He's like, "You're out."
Only one.
But I'm Wesley's mother. How did you keep him and not? We'll figure it out. And he's like, Wesley's a bitch. It's like, doesn't matter.
Oh, man.
Well, I want to mention very quickly about Deanna Muldaur, the person who portrays Dr. Pulaski. We didn't bring it up yet, but I just want to give a shout out to her for being the voice of Dr. Leslie Tompkins from Batman the Animated Series and the rest of the DC Animated Universe, which is probably a big reason why I always liked this character, despite like her... Like I don't like her like anti-android shtick. That's an unlikable aspect of her. But I forgive her very quickly because I keep thinking of Batman.
I think also just because she seems... We've only seen her in one episode so far, but she seems like much more no nonsense and proficient than Beverly.
She's no nonsense, yeah, and like often
Beverly always seems like she's like on the verge of not knowing what's happening.
Yeah. Diana, Diana Muldaur, but Catherine Pulaski is generally speaking far more in control of the situation she finds herself in.
Yeah.
She was in the original series, huh?
Was she?
Yeah, I'm looking at her IMDb page.
I didn't know that. Well,
was it like a bit part in like one episode or two?
2 episodes. She played Dr. Miranda Jones.
Oh, it's interesting she didn't play the same doctor. That's very
she played 2 doctors apparently here.
That's interesting.
Dr. Miranda Jones in one episode, and then another episode, Dr. Anne Mulhall.
Oh, interesting.
Does anybody here want to hear what Memory Alpha says Eichner radiation is?
What is it?
Eichner radiation was a type of radiation.
Oh,
this radiation could be emitted by a subspace phase inverter or cyanoacrylates.
It's just copy pasting what the episode just said. There's no expounding upon.
It was found to emanate from some life forms.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Ricardo, what would you rate this episode out of 10 starships?
By the way, she starred in McCloud. She had a couple episodes of McCloud. She was a series regular maybe on McCloud. She had.
I don't know what that is. What's McCloud?
McCloud. If anybody's seen one of the series, if anybody saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, it would be one of those series that would play like Down by Law. I forget one of the series is kind of based on. Actually, McCloud might have been in the movie. I'm not sure, but I think it might have. I'm sure my father-in-law will tell me. He knows all the shows. But anyway, what were we saying? What's the rating for the show?
Yeah, what would you give it out of 10 starships?
10 starships. Oh, I like that.
That was the original rating scale.
Yeah,
I came up with that.
Yeah, you came up with that.
I don't remember that, dude. I thought you just did.
No, it's you. This is all you.
Man. Oh man. Am I green in the face? I enjoyed some of this, but like all the ideas I had in my head were way better than what the storyline of this was. But I didn't hate it. as a first episode, I hated that Wesley's still in it. I had a sliver of hope that they would just jettison his body out to space. I'm gonna give it a 7.5.
Okay. All right. What about you, Dan?
I think this falls in the. That'll be nice. I'll give it a 7.
Yeah, I want to give it a 7 too. I think Ricardo kind of helped turn me around on my. I think I was stuck on the idea that it's not a great season premiere, but then the more you go through it, it's like they're introducing changes and.
That's a similar issue to what you had with the last season finale. Like the reason why it scored so low for
the season
because
finale
it was such a poor season finale.
But that season finale was so bad. It was not a season finale at all.
Well, a mediocre episode is a horrible season finale.
Yeah,
and that's the problem.
And this was fine for a premiere. I'm okay.
Yeah,
I'll give it a 7 too.
Did its job. It sets the new table.
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't. The child plot Ricardo likes. I found it the execution of it really like it's
I kind of hate everything about the exception of it.
Yeah,
of the child thing.
Yeah, of that plot line.
Yeah. Well, it's just that my what my imagination took me to was so much crazier. Like I was like, oh man, but also like I'm thinking of plot lines that would take episodes to develop. Like
sure.
But I don't know.
You're latching on to promise and being disappointed in squandered potential.
Yeah. So
well put.
So that was The Child. Our next episode next week. It's going to be Where Silence Has Lease. It's a mouthful of a title, but this is an episode that I personally remember very fondly. So it's going to be really interesting looking back at it. But
don't remember that by title, so we'll see.
Yeah. Dan, you may remember the name Nagilum. Do you remember that?
It's vaguely familiar, but that still doesn't recall any plot or characters.
The other thing I can say without spoiling it for Ricardo, Face in Space.
Okay.
The Thunder from Down Under? Does that ring a
Well,
bell?
in a way, there's always a thunder from down under in Star Trek.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah. That's true.
Thanks for listening to Newbie Star Trek, everybody. If you somehow got here by accident, but now you want to watch more episodes or listen to more episodes, you can find it at newbiestartrek.com. That's NEWBIE StarTrek.com.
We have a whole season you can catch up on.
That's true.
Yeah, it's a whole dang season.
We have a set of episodes.
Why, if you played all of our episodes back to back to back and tried to watch Star Trek along with it, we would have way more time than that season 1 did.
We talk a lot.
Sorry.
No, please do not apologize.
Shout outs to our great reviewers.
Hey, if you like the sweet taste of Purple Haze or Espresso in the Snowflake, go on to ease.com. They have smooth variations of weed, indicas, sativas. You want hybrids. Hybrids. You want a balm to soothe your pains? They have it. You want a joint? They have it. You want leaf? They have it, dude.
You want a pre-roll?
Yeah, you want a pre-roll? They have it, dude. They'll deliver to your house. No need to go to a confined space, even though we're all getting vaccinated. You don't need to go there. You just stay at home, order a pizza, some Taco Bell, some Burger King, and some Ease.
Enjoy the Taco Bell
all at once.
Yeah. That's what I pitched for my wedding food. Was like, hey, how about we get our favorite foods from everywhere?
Oh,
a little bit of talk, and then my wife was like, "No, this is fucking stupid."
That is logistically hard,
but that does sound like a really appealing idea. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, in a perfect world where everything's fresh and awesome, exactly as you want it as you get to it.
I guess, yeah. But then Trump did it for a dinner, and I was like, "Oh, this is a stupid fucking idea." Thank God my wife.
Well, the thing he wanted was
I was actually started thinking that
the cheapest McDonald's cheeseburgers, though. It wasn't even Big Macs. It was just cheeseburgers.
Well,
He's like-
then
he's
they've
like,
also
"What's
been
cheap?"
cooling in the room for hours.
Yeah, they're all cold now. All the ice is melted in the.
But that's one of the logistical problems, though.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
volume increases time.
Dude, the In-N-Out truck.
I was just
No.
about to say,
Not bad.
get 3 In-N-Out trucks for your wedding. Bam. You know,
Or like find all of the good, or find all your favorite fast food places that do mobile trucks.
yes.
Yeah.
And there's a surprising amount that
Actually,
Yeah.
want to do that. But
and then get a taco guy.
Dude. We kind of got a taco guy because we had tacos at our we had like a bunch of little things, but I've been seeing a lot of friends during quarantine
Mhm.
would just have taco guys and have their families over.
Nice.
And I'm like, and I've been asking like, how much are these taco guys, dude? I want to have like my next kid's party. I'm gonna just have.
It's not that much.
No,
honestly.
it turns out it's like $400 for like 20.
And
Love
it's
how
catering.
everyone
It's live
knows what you're
catering.
talking about when you say taco guy.
Yeah,
At least in
Like-
Southern California.
Yeah, like basically you pay $300-$400, and depending on how many guests you have, like for like 30 guests, you can do it's like $300-$400.
That's only
and
$10 a person. It's not.
Yeah,
bad
and
at all.
basically
real
the
good.
dude comes and he has like his whole setup. He comes in the back of a truck. He loads it into your backyard. He fucking starts the fucking grill and he fucking gets you tacos. Usually 3 meats. You get a chicken and 2 like a beef and a pork.
Probably an Al Pastor in there too.
Yeah, dude.
Oh man.
Get some Coronas and you got yourself a Fast and the Furious moment there.
Yeah, man. That's what.
Yeah, I'm getting hungry, man.
You throw in some champagne and cake. You got yourself a wedding.
Yeah. Hey, if you like us and our stupid bullshit, you can subscribe also to our film podcast called Fugitive Frames Film Podcast.
Heck yeah, dude.
And when you're listening to this, we'll have already while you're listening to this, we'll have already released our episode that is psychological horror films, where we discuss some of our favorite psychological horror films with our friend Ricksky Business.
Yes.
And we also have a video game channel on the YouTubes, as I call it, the YouTubes. Guys, what's up with that channel?
Well, it's Fugitive Games, and we're we're currently going through LA
You
Noir.
do that fake laugh every single time you say it.
As we're going through LA Noir and Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Justice for All right now, and also a bunch of random live streams that we're just doing.
like lately we've been settling into like a weekly Friday night stream. That seems to be the most consistent time slot. So look out for those. We finished Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. That was actually a pretty great game package.
That was a fun, frustrating time. You know what I mean? One of those things.
Yeah, it was. Boy, am I glad we beat Champions Road before we had to give up on a second stream.
That would have been really embarrassing.
That would have been very, very embarrassing. Yeah. It was already embarrassing.
But you can find the Fugitive Frames Film Podcast at fugitiveframes.com or wherever podcasts are sold. Or you can also just go for Fugitive Games. You can go to either fugitive.games as a URL or just search YouTube for Fugitive Games and you'll find it there. Well, this was one thing I wanted to, because for new listeners, we're not actually sponsored by Ace. It sounded very official. We actually aren't sponsored at all. Yeah. It's also a huge coincidence that this episode releases on 420 and then Ricardo did. He's
sick, bruh.
Sick, dude.
But no, we're not sponsored at all. We're here because of listener.
We could be, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Ease. Look, there's got to be Star Trek fans at the Ease like corporate headquarters.
Oh, I'm sure.
And one of these days, one of them's gonna listen to it. And he's like, "Dude, these guys have been giving us free publicity for fucking a whole season. Let's throw these guys."
Where's
some
their
money,
website? Where's their
stickers.
Contact us link?
Yeah, maybe we can. You can get into that.
Maybe somebody will leak.
Our numbers are going up. Maybe it'll be attractive.
Yeah.
But anyway, thanks for listening.
I like that you gotta make that disclaimer.
It sounded so official, and it was only like a few seconds later that I realized, wait, people don't realize probably if they're new.
Well, maybe, like if they're not already on board here, they have no clue what the heck's happening.
But that's us. But, thanks for listening. We'll be back next week with Where Silence Has Lease, whatever that means.
Yeah, that does sound a bit like word salad.
Yeah.
When you're just not paying much attention.
Yeah. But in the meantime, this has been Newbie Star Trek. I'm Marvin here with Ricardo and Dan. And
I'm Dan.
And I'm
lately when you start that off, I think you're about to do Under the Sea.
That's
you
the
never
song.
know.
That's
you never
the
know.
song. Yeah. Stay safe, everyone. We'll see you guys next week. Goodbye.
Later.
Bye.